Welcome back, episode 22 of Chasing Kona. My name is Mike Kemp and I'm an Ironman athlete. We are 9 weeks out from Ironman Texas. It is Wednesday, February 11, and in July 8th of last year, I broke my neck while cycling, have titanium implants in my throat. It's taken this length of time, 7 months of PT 7 days a week, to get back the neck mobility, the neck strength. I'm doing open water swimming today to test out my wetsuit, to get comfortable in the water, which is cold right now, but it's a good opportunity just to calm the nerves. The lap pool is great for speed and for fitness, but open water swimming is more for readiness and control. Basically calming yourself when everything is feeling chaotic. The water is murky, there's no black line for you to follow underneath. There's nothing to push off. You don't get to rest every 25 yards. So just getting that experience of being in the middle of the water. The only difference between this and the race is there's going to be hundreds and thousands of other competitors, and that adds its own challenges as well. But in future weeks, we'll add some other friends to come swim next to me to get used to that as well. Let's hop in the water and see how it goes. All right, so that's a 20-minute workout. Again, in the open water here, and my first time since breaking my neck, it was less about getting fitness and more about getting comfortable. As soon as I got in, my heart rate spikes a little bit. You can feel the coldness on my feet, my hands, my neck. I had somewhat of a difficult time doing the sighting to be able to see where I'm going. The current, as you can see on top of the water, was pulling me away. But that's why we're doing it, just getting comfortable with the water. After this, we've got 10 easy miles. I'll be running with Natasha who's the founder of my coaching community. And then we'll be finishing up with a bike, pulling out the triathlon bike for the first time at a place called Pace Bend Park. Excited to take you guys there as well and show you my first time outdoors on the triathlon bike since breaking my neck. All right, guys, I'm back here with Natasha. She's the founder and head coach of NVDM, the coaching community based here in Austin, Texas. And yeah, if you're watching on episode 14, we had her on and we did speed work. Today we're doing 10 easy miles. And yeah, I wanted to take advantage of this opportunity. Natasha's become a good friend of mine, and she also trains some of the best men and women in the world. And what an opportunity to get to show some of our new audience who are getting into Ironman for the first time something specifically about running, something specifically about Ironman, both the physical and the mental side. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome to be on a run for February. The weather's pretty nice here in Austin.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And yeah, so first of all, why are we on an easy run right now? For me, when I first got into running, I thought, oh, you want to be faster, you just run fast.
Yeah.
I'd love you to help us understand what the benefit is
of these easy conversational runs?
Yeah, well, there is a direct correlation between volume and the preparation that is needed for a very long endurance event like an Ironman. And so when you're accumulating multiple runs in a week, you're accumulating longer runs in the week, especially if you're new to volume, you have to run at a pace that your body can handle the stress and then recover from it, knowing that, okay, if you're training for an Ironman, I bet you have a swim later today. And then, oh, by the way, you have a bike later tomorrow and maybe another run tomorrow, because volume and frequency, of course, both matter in building overall fitness, but then also building efficiency and economy in the movement. You need to do it a lot, right? And so if you do it too fast, your body can't handle the stress of that said activity. And that's where people get too tired. That's where they get injured. And so it's like, where can you safely accumulate miles day after day, week after week? And that's where the easy run term comes from. So, you know, if we do have athletes that maybe they're not running every day or they're not handling this massive load of training or stress, well, in that case, it is okay to maybe run a little bit faster,
Right.
because they can now recover for the next time that they're going to run. And that added stress load is something that is in turn getting them fitter. But yes, if you look at the best in the world, let's just take the marathon runner. They're running 100 to 120 miles a week. The only way they can do that is because they're taking those easy runs, so easy, and then it allows them also to be fresh for the key workouts that are eliciting specific adaptations if they're trying to improve their VO2 max or their threshold, etc. But it all is based off like a really strong foundation of supportive miles. And the last thing I'll say to that too is when we have new athletes starting the sport, I always say, like, you're gonna get fit pretty quick cardiovascularly, but what's gonna actually slow you down is the fact that your legs are not used to the impact.
Yeah.
And so your lower legs, like the tendons and the ligaments and all that, they need to get used to this impact that is new to them. And the harder you're going, the harder that stress is. And so if you're wanting to recover from that stress and not get hurt, hey, let's just like lower that impact to start, right?
Yeah, I completely agree. That was my biggest shock. For me, I was getting into all three sports brand new, October 2024. March had Ironman South Africa. I was physically fit enough with my lungs to handle the run.
Yeah.
My biggest shock was, oh wow, I just got off of a 112 mile bike.
Yeah.
My legs are jelly and they weigh 10, 20, 30 pounds each.
Right.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
And I'm excited now we're a year removed from that, just because I've noticed in the breaks when I've been doing the runs after the bike,
Yeah.
my body is just more used to it. And
That's
that's a
right.
durability thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, a number of factors. But yeah, you think about when you first built the mileage of the long run, right? When you had never done 12 miles before, that 11th and 12th mile, it hurts. Your quads hurt.
Right.
But then the next time you do 12 miles, it doesn't hurt. And you push to 14 miles. And now you're only kind of feeling that pain 13 and 14 miles in, and so forth. So your body has now the ability to withstand kind of the mileage based on the time that you put on your legs, and overall you've gotten stronger.
Cool, so that's the run specific and the easy run specific. I'd like to dive a little bit more into Ironman specific as a whole.
Okay.
If you could help us understand what separates a decent or a pretty good Ironman athlete versus a great one.
Yeah, so, I mean, I always say you can't hide from the Ironman. Like the work that you put in, that's gonna relatively show up on race day. So of course you're gonna, first of all, you're gonna tell which athletes are prepared and they're not prepared. And so, number one, that is the physical preparation. And you just say, okay, what are the demands of the race? And how do I execute to the best of my ability within the fitness I've built for that race? And so in preparation, it's like, I got 2.4 miles to swim. Have I built up both the cardiovascular fitness for that, but also can I hold my form together? Do I have the strength in my arms? Because a lot of the times, like, the strength is what kind of slows you down for this constant steady state swim. But then there's also the mental side, like you getting in the water. Can you attack when you need to attack? Meaning, I'm going to go out and I'm going to catch some feet, and then I'm going to find my side and I'm going to settle in, and that's going to benefit you for how you execute through that race, knowing, okay, now I'm in a group and I can swim with 30% less energy, for example, and you know, all the other things. How can I stay present? How can I stay focused on specific form cues that are going to allow me to execute on my best fitness for the day? And then as it pertains to the bike, multiple factors. It's like, okay, it's the cardiovascular fitness, there's the muscular endurance, because I mean, you're pressing the pedals for 112 miles straight. Have you prepared for that? And then have you prepared your mind to be quiet and focused for 112 miles? I feel like so many okay athletes just can't control their minds. And if you can be fully dialed into what you're trying to achieve in that moment versus having your mind wander, you'll be amazed at how much time you save. And then just not making stupid mistakes, making sure you're fueling correctly. You're not going above what you've trained yourself to do because you saw those group of people and now you want to go with them. So you just really have to have a really good mind about you at all times. And
that gut distress that can come with over fueling.
Yeah.
Or on the things that your stomach isn't used to.
Well, here's the thing. I think most people, you have to prepare specifically in training what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. But you get to race day and you're so like thinking about everything else, you forget what you've trained yourself to do. I can't tell you how many top athletes I have where we say, what happened? And they're like, oh, I didn't drink anything for an hour. I'm like, you can't get away with that. That's going to catch up. So it's just like, again, keeping your mind about you in the moment to do the things you know you need to do to bring the most out of your body. And then, yes, you come to the run. That run is going to be affected by the bike. Did you pace it correctly? Did you fuel it correctly? And then how you have your pace and set, and it's you staying locked in, you know, during that run. Again, not falling off fueling, staying mentally in a place where, you're not feeling the fatigue, that's number one, the pain, because you get to the run and all of a sudden your hips start hurting, your quads start hurting, and then how can you move in a manner the most efficiently as possible with the energy you have left?
Right.
And so it's like all these things you prepare in training, but like, okay, now execute on that specifically. And you have to fight through a wandering mind and the fatigue to remember those things and execute on them on race day.
Yeah, I'm really glad you already went into my next question, which was more of that mental side. So we already talked about, most of us, if you've been consistent, committed, hitting all your workouts, it's not going to be a fitness issue. Same thing as I noticed this morning. First open water since breaking my neck last July.
Right.
Cold water. All of a sudden there's no black line beneath me. Those first few minutes, extremely high anxiety.
Yeah.
Heart rate went up. I started noticing my form falling apart. So that's really great advice, is the best athletes have figured out how to just calm their mind in that storm, in the chaotic.
Yeah, but you have to be honest with yourself. How is it possible for you to get in open water when you haven't swum in that kind of cold water? That's a new shock to your body.
Yeah.
But you haven't done any open water. So you will become comfortable and become an expert in something you regularly expose yourself to. So I think your takeaway is you can't expect that much from yourself if you haven't done it.
Right.
Go do it. And then you learn along the way through failure, like, okay, this happened. My mind went there. Well, why did it go there? And a lot of the times it's not just that moment, because it's your mind is focusing on, okay, this is uncomfortable and I want to do well in this race. And now this anxiety starts to creep in of like, okay, what if I'm not prepared? But the good news is you have time to prepare. This showed itself now.
Exactly.
And what you need to do now is go expose yourself to open water more, get uncomfortable, work through it.
Yeah.
and figure out your path forwards come race day.
Yeah, that was the part I was happiest about at the end of the swim was, okay, maybe it didn't go as well as I would have hoped or expected, but that's not abnormal and we still have time to fix it. And the last thing I want to do is let my mental side get in the way of the months and years that I put into getting ready for this race.
Well, that's the thing. And if we can be honest, the mental side is going to be the biggest hurdle.
Yep.
You can do the physical work all day, but now you need to put that equal amount of time into the mental side of training if you really want to do well. And you need to know you're going to be faced with, I don't feel good, I have doubts, what are other people going to think of me if I don't hit my goal?
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to work through that, during the race? Because it's gonna happen. So it's a good thing that it happened now, and then you can prepare yourself. And sometimes, unfortunately, you can only prepare yourself so much in training. Sometimes you have to go through the failure of a race to go, wow, I thought I had it under control, but in a race, totally different. And this is why the best out there, no one sees all the work up to that point. They've raced 50 Ironmans, that's an exaggeration, but
sure.
They have had experience and they've had failures to get them to this point. And honestly, even the best still doubt themselves like crazy, but they've learned how to work through it and still show up in that doubt.
How to manage it.
Just kind of normal, yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Natasha was a pro triathlete for many years. Also coming from a tennis background. I know a lot of athletes like myself, played soccer, new into endurance. So I want to ask, from your professional racing, any mistakes that you made that you've learned from that now you coach people to do otherwise?
Yeah, honestly, many mistakes. I feel like I've gone through it all, and that allows me to be a better coach and also empathize with what their thought process is and what they're going through. But number one is continuing to preach on patience. I can't tell you how many people come in and they want the results and they want it now.
Right, me
and
included.
It just takes time. I really do wish someone held me by the shoulders, looked me in the eye, and just said, just be patient. Do what is something you can sustain, where you're not going to completely wipe yourself out, get injured, get unmotivated. That work over time is going to compound, and you just have to trust it. So that's number one, and I really echo that into all, especially of our younger athletes, how much time they have and how much the compounding effect of years and years of training will show up for them. Number two would be just fueling. You have to fuel the work, and so I think a lot of us come into the sport because we want to lean down, look a certain way, and I had my best years when I said no,
Performance.
I'm fueling for performance.
Right.
And I looked at every meal and every workout is, how can I drive the most out of my performance? And then how can I recover from what I did and set myself up for the next workout? And things massively changed. And I stopped caring about every other metric, to be honest, because I was performing so well and feeling so good. And then I think the last thing, the races I was most proud of is the ones that I could stay just fully present in the race experience, in the moment, and my mind not wander, and knowing that adversity is always going to hit in every single race, especially in Ironman. It's such a long day. How can you face that adversity with a mindset of, okay, this happened, how do I fix it?
Right.
And you get out of it so much quicker. But then the positivity behind it, instead of getting oh, I did this and I'm now upset about it and I've ruined this part of my race or the race. No, it's hey, let's stay positive, this happened, and then let's figure it out.
Right.
And I think if we can all have the mindset of that, presence and positivity through every aspect of the race, you are gonna be very proud of your race and you're gonna perform the best possible.
I love what you said about presence. There's a lot of new athletes who are friends of mine who watched my first Ironman experience, saw my time, which was just fine. But what I try to tell them is they get so hopped up around ooh, I want to go sub 12 or sub 11 or sub 10.
Yeah.
And I just try to caution them that that's taken away from, first of all, you've never felt what it's like, just regardless of how much training in each individual sport.
Yeah.
You have no idea what it feels like getting off that bike,
Yeah.
getting 10 miles into the run. And to really enjoy the process, I would just recommend trying to let go of, I need it to get done in this amount of time or I'm gonna be unsatisfied.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because let's just start with the swim. So many times the swim course is long. And imagine if you had the mindset of like, I want to swim a 1 hour, but it's like 300-meter long. It's just gonna ruin your entire race.
Right.
But everyone's times were long, so yeah.
Awesome. Just to close out, I'd love to know, now that you've transitioned to coaching, which
Yeah.
I think I never would have said this a year ago because I didn't know anything about triathlon, but I could see that being something I'm interested in. I'm just interested in what excites you the most about it. Why do you do it and what do you hope to gain out of it?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I'm super blessed to be in this position to help people. I think there's no greater calling than being able to serve. And this is the area that I'm called to serve. And I feel very fortunate about that. And then in that, like, you build these incredible relationships like the one I have with yourself that just brings so much meaning to me. And you have to realize, like, as a coach, you're impacting someone's life in positive habits, self-esteem, mental tricks to face adversity. They're probably changing their life and then their family's life and then their friends' lives.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so how cool is that? That you get to kind of support them in them,
Be a part of it.
in that, and guide them in that. Yeah.
Well, with that in consideration,
Yeah.
I had, last question, I had breakfast with your daughter. I've seen her on stories of yours swimming in the pool.
Yeah.
Is that a future Ironman athlete or what do you hope for her?
Honestly, it's whatever she wants to do. You know, me getting her in swim team and tennis, and it's just trying to instill healthy habits and understanding of work ethic, and then we'll see where she takes it from there.
Amazing.
But I'm definitely a parent that kind of sits back, and I want her to, I push her to a certain extent, but then I want her to then decide the direction she wants to go from these habits instilled.
Beautiful. Amazing. Well, we've got to finish off our 10 miles. We're going to go around the loop here in Lake Austin on Lady Bird Lake Trail. Natasha, thanks so much for giving us your wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank
Always
you.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
See you guys.
And forth, move my body back 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 and forth, move my body.
You guys here with Matt Manahan.
Nice to meet y'all.
Matt is from New Jersey, close by where I'm from in Connecticut, former hockey player. It's a cool thing about Ironman, you meet a lot of athletes who used to have a different discipline and then they hang it up and decide it would be fun to try to get in maybe to some endurance. I'm a former soccer player and yeah, we're both figuring this out as we go. This is gonna be your first race, right?
First race, first official race of any kind. Very excited. You know, I've been looking to scratch that competitive itch for a while since I hung up the skates, and this is definitely doing the trick.
It's funny, you have some people who
want to do a 5K, then a 10K run, and then an Olympic, and then a sprint triathlon, and then you have some guys like us who just want to dive straight into a full Ironman. There are pros and cons to both.
The more you mess around, the more you find out.
Yeah, some people will call us crazy, and I'm sure we are, but there's something fun about just diving in and seeing if you've got what it takes. I think Matt's going to do really well. He's dealing with shin splints right now, and just an important thing to bring up is in triathlon, it doesn't mean you have to stop training. It just means you cross train, right?
Yeah, just crushing it on the bike. In the pool a lot more than I want to be. Not my favorite discipline, but whatever gets me in zone 2 for as long as possible when I'm sidelined from the trail.
Yeah, and what I encourage him to do and any triathlete is, rather than see it as a setback, recognize it as an opportunity to get stronger on the others.
Absolutely.
The bike he's going to spend half of the race on, probably 5-6 hours. So now he gets to bike a couple 100 miles a week instead of 100 miles that he'd have to do when you add in the running.
Yeah, and there's a lot of room for growth in all 3 disciplines, especially training with this guy. You know, he keeps me honest, keeps me humble, and really excited for today.
Yeah, and a mutual friend introduced us, and that's one of the cool things about Austin with how much of a fitness community there is. And just to always, when I first signed up for it, I thought it was going to be something I just do all on my own.
Yeah.
And we train together, which is a lot of fun. Today we're out here at Pace Bend Park, which is about 45 minutes outside of Austin to the west. It's a beautiful area. We're surrounded by 9 miles of coastline.
Yeah.
This is a 6-mile loop. We've never ridden it before. We were just told it's good to get the triathlon bikes. Unfortunately, Matt's tri bike is down at the moment, so he's on my gravel bike. But nonetheless, we've been inside for the winter and just excited to be back out.
Pumped to be outside.
Get you practice with the handling. He'll be able to see how I ride a tri bike. So last thing, I just wanted to, Matt, could you tell us a little bit about why you signed up for the Ironman and what's the motivation behind it?
100%. You know, I in 2020, one of my best friends and I, Christopher Crane, we started the MCY Foundation, and it was all about honoring Isabella De La Houssaye, who is Chris's mother, who unfortunately passed away from stage 4 lung cancer. She was Kona almost every year, incredible triathlete, incredible endurance athlete. And so we founded the MCY Foundation to really expand our comfort zones and, you know, raise money for good causes through pushing our own physical limits. And this year we're raising money for the Concussion and CTE Foundation. You know, I have some strong connections to that because I ended up hanging up my own skates after dealing with post-concussive syndrome for a bit. So raising money for a cause close to home. You know, we're starting our fundraiser now, so balancing that and training has been good stuff.
Awesome. I'll be sure beneath this video in the caption to be putting the details if you guys want to donate to that.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for doing that. That's awesome.
Appreciate that.
It's really cool just when you meet other Ironman athletes. There'll be thousands we're racing with, and everyone's doing it for a different reason. Most people have come over some pretty crazy adversity, or their family has. So try to get to know your local triathletes. All right, so we're 9 weeks out from the race. Today is just a 60-90 minute push the legs a little bit, mostly practice on your handling outside, and just enjoy it. We've both got a big weekend of training coming up. Saturday for me is a 4-hour. We're going to be pushing on the bike, followed by a run, and then I got a 16-mile run Sunday. So feeling strong, and yeah, we're just excited. We're getting pretty close to the race.
Yeah, Operation Keep Up with Mike for the next 60 to 90 minutes.
Cool, let's see how it goes. Yes, that was just about 1 hour. We averaged 220 watts, did about 21 miles an hour. Really, this was more about the handling. Biggest thing I noticed is on an indoor trainer, as you know, with my broken neck, I've really been working on cervical extension. It's different on the indoor trainer when everything is stable versus out here, it's very bouncy. And I've noticed even just an hour is tough. So I've got 9 weeks to get to where I can do 4.5 hours, followed by a marathon. My neck will already be strained from the hour to hour and a half swim as well when I'm having to lift my neck out for sighting. So probably going to need to pop a bit of ibuprofen and get through it, but it's just one day and I've got 9 weeks to work on it, specifically with my physical therapist. Anything from you today?
Yeah, a couple valuable lessons learned that I'm glad I didn't learn on race day. Got an indoor trainer a few weeks back, took the wheel off to put it back on for the first time, and had some mechanical issues. So thank you again, Mike, for letting me borrow this bad boy. But definitely got to be more proactive with that stuff. And, you know, I'm glad I learned now and not when it really counts. So had a great time keeping up with this guy. And, you know, Pace Bend is a sick spot. Definitely got to come back here.
Highly recommend it. It's only $5 to get in for the day. Quick ride west from Austin. Beautiful out here. We only saw 1 or 2 cars.
Yeah, it was great.
No other cyclists, no potholes, no cracks. So super safe for those of you who are worried about being around traffic and you want to get some miles in. There's a pro cyclist friend of mine named Chloe who works at Austin Tricyclists, and she recommended I come out here. So thank you for that. And last thing I want to say as a recommendation is when you are on a race for many hours, you want to hold a stable wattage. Here there's rolling hills and we were going uphill and we might have been clocking 300, 400, 500 watts. That's great for fitness, but there's a difference between having an average of 250 where you're going up into the 500-600s versus just holding it all the way. You only have so many candles to burn. So just a recommendation for you and for other novice people racing is try to keep as stable as possible. Otherwise your legs are going to feel it and you're going to burn through your glycogen tank. Because for me, during my metabolic testing, I learned that on zone 2, I burn 130 carbs per hour. On zone 3, 4, 5, I'm pushing over 200. So I'm emptying that tank quickly, and you can't refuel that much. And then I'll get to the marathon and just bonk. Matt, thanks for riding with me. Appreciate it,
man. No, that was a great time.
That's swim, bike, and run for this episode. Glad we got into all 3 sports and hope you guys learned something, and we'll see you next week.